Alors pour revenir au rapport des deux pays, Algérie et Maroc avec l'espace africain, surtout au niveau économique, il y a une différence de style, une différence de méthode. Le régime algérien, les autorités algériennes, de par leur histoire, ils ont toujours entretenu avec les pays africains une relation économique sur le mode je donne de l'argent, je donne de la dette, je prête de l'argent parce que à des pays qui pourraient en avoir besoin. D'ailleurs, à un moment donné, les autorités algériennes ont été obligées d'effacer ces dettes. Par contre, la stratégie, le style, la manière de faire des Marocains, c'est d'investir dans le tissu économique de ces pays. Et d'où la présence dans les banques, dans les assurances, dans pas mal d'infrastructures. Et avec,
dans le domaine de la bancarisation.
Et avec une mentalité de gagnant-gagnant.
It's amazing right now. Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger. Great news. What is it? Well, the landlocked countries, as you can see, they are landlocked. I'm going to get back to that. Have endorsed an initiative by Morocco to give them access to the Atlantic Ocean. Now, what does this mean, my brothers? This means these three countries are going to work with Morocco in order to give them access to the sea. It's out of love. Great.
The foreign ministers of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger reaffirmed their full support for and commitment to accelerating its implementation during the royal meeting. So it's already a done deal. It's already something that has been agreed on. And it is very, very cheering news that the government of Morocco has decided to offer alternatives to Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger.
A strategic game changer. This isn't just politics. It's a spark. A moment that reminds us that unity is still possible. That when one African nation stands alone, another can reach out. Because maybe we don't have to wait for the distant future. Maybe the seeds of a united Africa are already being planted by the few who choose courage over silence and brotherhood over borders. And maybe the King of Morocco just watered one of those seeds. A united Africa. It's not a question of if, but when.
And know well Morocco's interest in the Atlantic and its amazing work to try and bring people together in conversation to include the Atlantic dialogues.
I think this is one of the things that from Mexico and from Latin America, Mexico is not only Latin American, it's a North American country, so we can play both sides. We can cooperate with Africa and particularly with Morocco. We can learn a lot from Morocco, long-term cooperation and agreements with these areas.
Okay.
In a region gripped by rising tensions and growing isolation, one North African country has stepped forward, not with empty words, but with meaningful action. As Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger face pressure from foreign powers and betrayal from their immediate neighbors, Morocco has chosen a different path. The kingdom did just express symbolic support for the embattled Sahel nations. It offered something far more valuable. For landlocked countries like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, access to the sea has always been a matter of survival.
You're asking yourself, why is the sea important? The sea is very important for business. Every country needs the sea. What do you need the sea for? You need the sea to import good and export good. Now, congratulations, because Morocco is opening the door to these people, showing them brotherhood has nothing to do with nothing. Okay? Brotherhood is everything to do with presence, action.
Africa as the cradle of humanity and the cradle of the first human civilization. Geographic space called the Atlantic, and we will be able to set up models like Morocco is doing. It is setting up models of what is possible with good leadership.
Okay.
And Morocco is showing some elements of it. Some other countries may also be doing the same. I happen to come from a country which has snatched defeat out of the jaws of victory. South Africa has everything that it needs to be an absolutely successful country. But it hasn't succeeded because it hasn't acknowledged that it needed to learn from both the past and the future, something that requires values-based leadership.
And this is something that can be done and should be done in a cooperative manner, because lessons that are learned in Morocco could be very useful in South Africa and would be useful in the United States and Mexico and whatever.
A monarch, a symbol of legacy, diplomacy, and now Pan-African solidarity. The King of Morocco. He didn't just send words of support. He sent a message of unity. And more than that, he gave a gift, a rare and powerful gesture that could change the course of the AES alliance. The king offered military cooperation, economic channels, and access to Morocco's Atlantic ports. The truth is clear. Africa's future, its prosperity, stability, and independence can only be realized through unity and integration. This was the dream of Africa's founding fathers. Not a continent of 54 fragmented states, each looking inward, but a powerful collective of nations working hand in hand.
We are saying one Africa, Amanda.
We want to carry gold. Go across Africa. I want to go to Zimbabwe. I want to go to Burkina Faso. I want to go to Nigeria. Do business.
In a continent where unity often exists only in words, Morocco's initiative stands as a rare example of what it truly means to be your brother's keeper.
I'm talking about the whole Africa. I'm not talking about South Africa. I'm not talking about Mozambique. I'm not talking about Congo. I'm talking about the whole Africa. We are tired of being exploited. The time is now for us to unite and fight for our minerals. We need each other more than ever. We Africans, this is our time now. We need to unite now.
History and principle. For generations, Morocco has shared a tradition of mutual aid and solidarity with the countries of the Sahel. According to Foreign Minister Nasser Bourita, King Mohammed VI has always placed high value on these ties, nurturing them with both words and actions. It is this spirit of cooperation, of action, of solidarity that must guide Africa forward.
So I want to say kudos to the government of Morocco. That is what African brotherhood is all about. That is what it should be. African brotherhood is not about imposing sanctions on anybody. That word, sanction, is an alien word in Africa, and it should never be used at all.
With this single gesture, Morocco has given the AES a gateway to global markets. For the first time in modern history, these landlocked nations have a direct and friendly trade route to the world. Burkina Faso's Foreign Minister, Karamoko Jean-Marie Traoré, described the moment as a reflection of King Mohammed's deep love for Africa and Africans.
Je dois dire que j'ai été impressionné par trois faits. Le premier, c'est l'amour de Sa Majesté pour l'Afrique et les Africains.
In a time of division, Morocco's gift is a powerful reminder that unity is still possible, and that Africa's future lies in Africans standing for each other.
Dans cette quête, l'accès à la mer devient une priorité vitale. Sans ouverture maritime, difficile de commercer librement, d'exporter ses richesses minières, etc.
Ce qui est important pour le Maroc et pour nous, une fierté aussi pour les Africains, le Maroc devient vraiment le hub de formation des techniciens, de la recherche, des études supérieures pour les pays africains. Depuis quelques années, mon pays a choisi un peu le Maroc comme le centre de formation universitaire de haut niveau, depuis que la France a fermé un peu ses portes à nos universitaires. Et le Maroc nous a accueillis et aujourd'hui il y a beaucoup d'Italiens qui sont dans le centre de formation supérieure.
Morocco has chosen a different approach, one of dialogue over dictates, respect over interference. In doing so, Morocco has emerged not just as a partner, but as a symbol of how African diplomacy can be reimagined, free from external pressures, rooted in sovereignty, and focused on shared growth.
Culture is important as a tool for diplomacy, so soft power. How Morocco uses culture as a tool for its diplomacy and its soft power. We are talking about arts, literature. We are talking about fashion, music, movies. also gaming and even sports, you know.
That's right.
And we know that a lot of, and Morocco, of course, 2030. And we have also this sports program with Morocco, because it's important to understand that through creative industries and sports, not only you can promote a certain idea of your country, of your vision of the world, but it's also a market, a growing economic market.
Y yo sigo insistiendo mucho, Marruecos, África, porque España tiene que empezar a mirar, es que África lo tenemos al lado y hay muchas oportunidades para colaborar con países africanos en su desarrollo. Entonces, Marruecos, que es buen conocedor, sobre todo del África Occidental, nos puede ayudar mucho a la empresa española a entrar junto con ellos para hacer buenos negocios o proyectos en el África Occidental sobre todo.
المغرب من الدول القليلة اللي رفعتم توقعات النمو لها بال25 وبال26. هل في سبب خاص بالمغرب يجعلها أفضل من حيث النمو الاقتصادي؟
في عدة أسباب. أولا المغرب تمكن من رفع الانتاجية ورفع مستوى كفاءته بسلاسل الإنتاج، وهذا أمر مكن الاقتصاد المغربي أنه يكون قادر أكثر على التصدير. هناك قطاعات عم تزدهر مثل قطاع السياحة وعم تستقطب استثمارات. قطاع الزراعي اللي هو عادة بشكل حجم كبير من الاقتصاد تمكن يعني من استمرار بوتيرة النمو نظرا لنسبة المياه اللي كانت جيدة هذا العام والعام الماضي. كل هذه العناصر اجت مواكبة ايضا للسياسات التي اعتمدها المغرب يلي سمحت له انه يخفض مستويات الفوائد، يخفض العوائد، ويكون عنده قدرة اكثر على امتصاص الصدمات.
That's why Morocco's action is more than just a diplomatic gesture. It's a blueprint. At a time when others chose isolation or indifference, Morocco offered vision and support. The kingdom didn't just sympathize with the AES nations. It studied the situation, understood the deeper issues, and chose to act. By opening its Atlantic ports to Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, Morocco didn't just offer sea access. It offered economic freedom, trade opportunity, and a chance for true self-reliance. These ports, now gateways to global markets, could significantly reduce trade costs and unlock economic potential long trapped by geography and neglect.
Marruecos tiene tal vez la infraestructura portuaria más importante de África, y eso es un canal fundamental para el intercambio comercial entre los países, que justamente la vía marítima y los puertos en desarrollo dan una apertura, como decía, hay muchos países que no tienen acceso al mar, y hoy Marruecos les está brindando una infraestructura esencial para los temas vinculados a poder llegar a un comercio de bienes, sobre todo que muchas veces está limitado por no contar con esa salida al mar.
What many don't realize is that this Moroccan initiative wasn't born overnight. It was first announced back in November 2023, long before the latest political tensions and failed coup attempts. This recent meeting in Rabat was not a new proposal, but rather a reaffirmation of a promise made by King Mohammed VI. At that time, the king declared that Morocco was ready to open its road, rail, and port infrastructure to the Sahel nations, on one simple condition: that the AES countries develop the local infrastructure needed to integrate into Morocco's existing transportation and communication networks.
It offers a strategic diplomatic leverage for Morocco because it gives Morocco now the opportunity to build stronger bilateral and multilateral ties with the Sahel Alliance and reinforce its ambitions to lead or to at least play a significant role in African affairs, especially Northwest Africa. And for the Sahel Alliance, it's also a win-win situation for them because to them it's an addition they have gained a strategic partner in Morocco.
Le Maroc est l'un des pays les plus puissants d'Afrique. Il est le premier pays investisseur en Afrique. Il est le premier pays investisseur en Afrique de l'Ouest. Il élargit son réseau d'influence et de commerce en Afrique de l'Ouest. Il s'impose comme une alternative logistique aux routes internationales, aux routes traditionnelles. Le Maroc est généralement considéré comme faisant partie des pays du Sud global. Cette initiative affirme son rôle de leader régional du Sud global. Cette démarche est également salvatrice pour l'AES. C'est une option qui pourrait changer la donne.
Morocco does strengthen its role as a regional trade hub and also as a gateway to Europe and to America, enhancing its influence in West Africa.
المغرب استفاد بمراحل سابقة من تدفق الاستثمارات الأجنبية من الصين ومن غيرها، ربما بسبب اتفاقية تجارة حرة مع الولايات المتحدة. هل يمكن أن تكون هناك آثار للحرب التجارية على المغرب بشكل أو بآخر؟
آثار الحرب التجارية على المنطقة موجود، إنما بطريقة غير مباشرة وآثاره محدودة. إنما ما ننسى أنه هذه التحولات ستتأتى أيضا من خلالها تحولات أخرى. ممكن أن يكون هناك تغيير بمسارات الحركة التجارية. لهذا السبب يعني نحن توصيتنا للدول أن تتحوط لهذه المتغيرات، ترفع إنتاجية الاقتصاد، ترفع أيضا اللي بنسميه نحن البفرز اللي هي الاحتياطات اللي هي أساسية لحماية أي اقتصاد من هذه الصدمات. شفنا نحن بعام 2020 وقت صارت جائحة الكورونا، الدول التي كانت متحضرة لأي أزمات كان عندها قدرة على امتصاص الصدمات والخروج السريع، والمغرب كانت إحدى هذه الدول.
Estamos hablando de un país con un crecimiento de un 8% anual. Estamos hablando de que Tangermed como puerto no deja de crecer, pero es que están apostando por un puerto nuevo en Nabor, que también para Europa nos viene muy bien, por una conexión importantísima en esa zona.
Morocco is an exception because, I mean, the country has always, you know, in the 50s, for example, the country hosted films, movies, you know, of many Albert Hitchcock, L'homme qui en savait trop, a été tourné au Maroc, ou encore Orson Welles, Othello de Orson Welles en 1950, dans les années 52, a été tourné aussi au Maroc.
Was also shot in Morocco, not to mention the many festivals in Morocco that were held in Morocco. So Morocco has indeed used culture as a means for diplomacy and has managed to project itself through culture, and this is a real asset that
While some leaders view the region through the lens of crisis and instability, King Mohammed envisions a future of growth, transformation, and shared prosperity. He rejects shortcuts and superficial solutions. Instead, he advocates real investment in development as the only sustainable way forward. It's a powerful contrast to the silence of many African governments, especially when it comes to the AES. Morocco's approach, offering support, access, and solidarity, stands out as a rare and refreshing example of what real African unity can look like. It was a forward-thinking plan, one that required vision, collaboration, and long-term commitment. The intent behind this gesture has always been clear. As highlighted by both Malian and Moroccan officials, Morocco's leadership has consistently shown that it has the Sahel in mind. Morocco is stepping forward as a neighbor, a partner, and a fellow African nation committed to stability and unity. Kudos to Morocco for this wonderful initiative. If more African countries extend helping hands to each other and work together instead of doing their own thing, the vision of a new Africa, a strong Africa, a bold Africa that takes responsibility for defending its interests, and an Africa influential in the concert of nations would be achieved in the shortest possible time.
And that Morocco has credible international and diplomatic clout, not only with the EU, but also with the United States and with the Arab world. So to the Sahel Alliance, it's good news for them.